to the DARE graduation. Your child has been going through the last 12 weeks of classes, which we talk about different things, anything from making good decisions, and that's basically what we start with, and making those good decisions and continuing those good decision makings throughout their life. We start with a 4-step message, which is define, assess, respond, and evaluate. Those 4 steps is thinking about what they do, thinking about the choices they have. Then, after they think about those choices, making the best choice for them, and then evaluating that. Did I make a good choice? Do I need to reevaluate that next time? Do I need to make a different decision? We also talk about drugs. Basically, the drugs we talk about is alcohol and tobacco. Then we also talk about the consequences of those and what happens when people use those. We talk about consequences of any choice, as well as stress, how to deal with stress, things that you can do to reduce your stress. We talk about bullying, peer pressure, making the confident communication when we're talking about communicating with each other, how to communicate confidently in any situation. And we talk about help network, the people that's there to help you through situations. So in this class, we talk about a lot of different things. And they have completed this the last 12 weeks and done a very good job. I'd like to thank you parents for coming out and supporting them today in this. First of all, before we start certificates and stuff though, I would like to say that we have several special guests here today to visit with them. We have Officer Ron Kirby, who is also a DARE instructor. We have Sheriff Chitwood is going to speak to them as well. And my son Trevor Silver's come today to congratulate him because he just graduated from the Marines, and they helped me through those tough 13 weeks of him being gone. Probably the hardest time of my life. So they have helped me out with that. So he wanted to come today to congratulate you in graduating today. Before we get started and give out certificates, I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Chitwood. He's going to say a few things, and then we'll give out certificates here shortly.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to start. Lieutenant Silver's introduced your son, but students, I'm going to use that as a little quick illustration. Then I'll have some remarks here for your parents and grandparents. But you got to stay straight. Y'all have talked about that. Drugs can affect your adult life, college, maybe scholarships, athletic, whatever. It can also affect if you want to join the United States Marines, okay, or any branch of the military. So you want to know what the American soldier looks like? This is the new brand of the American soldier. Just finished basic training in South Carolina, okay? So y'all can reach this very same goal, okay? So you got to stay straight. But parents, again, thank y'all so much for coming. As Lieutenant Silver said, this is a 12-week program. We teach it in all 13 elementary schools of Whitfield County. We've had 2 graduations this week. We got one at Farnell after lunch today and everything. So we are in the schools and teaching this to every single 5th grader in Whitfield County. People ask us, is it 100% guaranteed for your child, grandchild to stay straight? Because you got to help us, okay? The school works with us. Every school in this community works with us. Our officers work with us, of course. But we need you, and I know you do that. But just to say it takes all of us working with these students, your children, to keep them straight and on the straight and narrow. And you know that. And we're going to hand out the certificates here in just a minute. On the certificate, we make reference to it sometimes. There's a little bitty triangle. Okay, everybody knows what a triangle is, 3-sided, right? It's got law enforcement. We're here today. It's got educators. They're standing right here by the window. Okay, and it's got parents. So y'all are equally as important to the success of this program as we are being in the classroom. Okay, so it takes all of us. Your presence here today, I hope, shows your support of the program because you came to see this graduation. This is a true, real graduation. We've had through the years some students that may not have met all the criteria, maybe didn't get to graduate, but these students here today did. So in just a few minutes, they're going to line up, we're going to come across, and we're going to hand them an actual true certificate, diploma, whatever you want to call it, because they will be and are now a DARE graduate. And that is something very, very proud to have. Okay, students, we have employees at the Whitfield County Sheriff's Office today that were DARE students and DARE graduates because they stayed straight and they made good decisions. So y'all can do the same thing, and we want you to do the same thing. Y'all learn in the classroom, good decision making, you get rewards, right? Poor decision making, there's consequences. And as you grow up, you're going to make mistakes. I make mistakes every single day, but it's how you recover, okay? But we want you to know how important it is to be a DARE graduate. Parents, this is the same program they teach in Chicago, New York, Pittsburgh, Miami, Denver, San Francisco. It's taught all over this nation. It's also an international program, so London and Paris and Rome and Tokyo. It's the very same program we teach right here at Cohutta. So that shows you how much emphasis is put on this program of teaching young fifth graders to stay straight and make good decisions. Okay? That's why we do it. Okay? Our feeling is if we save one child, then we did our job. You know, but we all have to work together. There's things out there on the street today that wasn't there when I was in school, when y'all were in school. You know it. I don't have to sit here and tell you. You know there's things out there, and they're going to be tempted. They're going to be going into high school here in a couple of years, Northwest or Coahalla, whatever district you're in up here. You're going to be tempted. You're going to be offered things. But remember that good decision-making model that you've learned. Okay? Stay straight and be good, productive citizens and be successful students as you graduate from high school and hopefully go on to college and have a professional career. Okay? Good deal. Parents, again, thank you for coming. We're going to line up and do this. I'll ask you to hold your applause if you would till we get through. I think we got 2 classes today. But till the end of each class, we can properly hear the names of the students be called and give them the proper recognition and honor that they have earned and what they deserve. Okay? Thank you so much for coming.
Sophia Belcher. Jax Bora. Ryan Brewer. Hudson Bullock. Bentley Chickless. Robert Grant. Amy Hambright. Hunter Jones. Josue Manriquez. Chloe McAtee. Colton Middleton, Marley Mingle, Abram Moran, Haley Palico Lopez, James Pfutner, Hayden Pfutner, Haley Klembeck, Cheyenne Randolph, Preston Robinson, Eli Rogers, Macy Sanchez, Ethan Shook, and Kinley Silvers.
That concludes.
Ms. Ford's homeroom, will you please stand? Bronson Bailey. Hayden Bell. Patricia Birchfield. Charlotte Cook. Devin Crawford. Kinsley Dalton. Kinley Duckett. Hallie Farner. Layton Head. Yadier Hernandez. Sam Hewitt. Abigail Howe. Xavier Jones. Caleb Knudsen. EJ Kumar. Stella Mendez. Colby Mendez. Sarah Milisavic. Braxton Paul. Gabriel, I say Poyer. Poyer. Abby Flamebeck. And Bailey Ridley.
As I mentioned earlier, we do 13 of these graduations per year. And I don't always say this unless it truly applies, but I think every student that came by to receive their certificate from me said thank you. So students, adults notice things like that. So thank you for thanking us, okay? Very good job. Good. One of the requirements that we ask the students to participate in the DARE program is to write an essay. What they will write about is what they've learned in it, the drugs, tobacco, alcohol, gangs, bullying, anything that they talk about in the classroom. They will write an essay pertaining to the drug program, the DARE program. They all will turn them in. They'll turn them into Lieutenant Silvers. She'll bring them back to the sheriff's office, and we will read them in attempt to select the very best essay, okay? Now, she will not grade Kahada because naturally she's considered a teacher here, and she's got a personal relationship with all her students. So Deputy Kirby, the other DARE instructor that we have, they will read them. We'll give them to investigators. I've read them before, and we will do our very, very best, like I say, to attempt to select the best essay. And they make it very, very tough for us because these are some bright students. And they're your kids, and I don't have to tell you, but they turn in some tremendous essays, and sometimes they get a little personal, but it makes it very difficult for us to attempt to select the best essay. But we have done that, and I'm going to announce, and we're going to ask that student to come up and read their essay for you. Okay? So with that little introduction, here at Kahada, what we consider to be our first place, our essay winner, how about Charlotte Cook? Charlotte, are you here?
The microphone's in the back. She'll twist it in the back. Just talk right here.
We have a speaker back here, a microphone if she needs it.
The microphone's in the back, so we're going to let her stand back there if you want to twist, or if you just want to listen to her while she reads, then that way everybody can hear.
Yeah.
She'll be fine.
Do you have a special group of people you can trust? Do you feel safer when you are alone? If so, then they are part of your help network. The help network is a group of people that are responsible, trustworthy, and willing to help in an emergency. Most of the people that are adults, like your mom or dad, but sometimes they can be your friends too. The first thing I would like to talk about is how to choose your friends wisely. If you do not choose your friends wisely, then you might be hanging out with people that can hurt you. You also have to be respectable because nobody will want to be your friend if you don't respect them. Sometimes that might even mean losing friends, but in my opinion, I would rather have one true friend than friends than a bunch of fake friends. The second thing I would love to talk about is empathy. Empathy is when you put yourself in someone else's shoes and figure out what it feels like to be. If you end up with a bad or fake friend, you also need to remember your resistance techniques. That means all your ways to say no. For example, you can walk away, ask them to stop nicely, and lastly, if they are not listening, you can ask someone from your help network to help you. Another thing I would like to talk about is peer pressure. Say your friend invites you to a party at their house, but when you get there, they try to get you to banquet them. They might say something like, "I will not be your friend anymore if you don't." That would be called peer pressure. Peer pressure is when someone tries to talk you into doing something that you know is wrong. Peer pressure can be very bad sometimes. What if they talk you into doing something that can hurt you, like vaping or smoking? Next, I would like to talk about bullying and how to report bullying. If you do not report bullying and don't help the person that is getting bullied, then you are a bystander. You don't want to be a bystander because that means you could have helped the person being bullied, but you didn't. First thing you need to try to get someone to stop bullying is to speak up. Use your voice to tell the bullier to stop. If he or she does not listen, then tell someone in your help network. I will now talk about using the DARE decision. The D stands for define. Define means to describe the challenge or problems that you or someone you know is facing. The A stands for assess. That means to think of all the choices that you have to solve the situation. Next is R. R stands for making a decision or choice. The last letter is E. According to the DARE workbook, the E stands for looking back at the choice you made, asking yourself if it was a good decision or not, asking how you know that, and lastly, asking if you would make the same choice again. Now I will talk to you about over-the-counter and prescription drugs. Over-the-counter drugs are ones that you can pull off the shelf and buy in the pharmacy. Over-the-counter drugs can be very dangerous because you have to make sure that the medicine will help you and not hurt you. Prescription drugs are drugs that the doctor prescribes to you normally. If you have a prescription medicine, then you cannot share with anyone. If you have over-the-counter or prescription drug, do not mix bottles, even if they are the same medicine. It is very important to read all the words on the medicine because lots of people have passed away because of taking the wrong medicine. You can go to the hospital for just overdosing and smoking. Another thing I would like to talk about to you is dealing with stress. When you are becoming a teenager, life can be very stressful. But some of the best ways to deal with stress are deep breaths, taking a nap, or break, being with friends and family, or having your favorite meal. I know it might sound crazy, but it always makes people happier when they have their favorite meal. Also, it is very yummy and delicious. Nobody can be telling the truth if they say they have never been stressed. Everyone has been stressed at least once. Next, I would like to talk to you about something that is very important to me. I would like to talk about why it's important for me to be drug-free. It is important for me to be it is important to me because it is really important to me that I live a long and healthy life. The less bad stuff I put in my body, the longer I live. I promise myself and everyone I love that I shall cook will always be drug-free and will not be taken into peer pressure. That is why I'm drug-free and will stay drug-free. I believe that most of the stuff that I learned in there, that is most of the stuff that I learned in there. I also hope that you learned a lot from my writing and that you will be more cautious while picking new friends. Prescription and over-the-counter drugs are poison bullying. I really love having a dare, and I hope that one day you will remember to have only people that are respectable, responsible, trustworthy, and willing to help in an emergency. Please be safe and careful with all that you have learned.
Charlotte, if you would come back up front, please. We have a couple of gifts for you. So Charlotte, being the essay winner here at Cohutta, she is going to get a little book satchel and a miniature or a large Darren. Darren is the Dare mascot. All the students know who Darren is, so we're proud to present that to Charlotte and good reading. As I said, we do a number of these throughout the school year, before Christmas, and then towards the end of the school year, be 2023. But we realize, as I mentioned, how smart and bright these students are. And we have two other students that we want to recognize for turning in outstanding essays. We won't ask them to read, but we're going to give them a miniature Darren to, like I say, to recognize their outstanding work. So kind of in a second place, runner-up, however you want to consider it. If I pronounce this right, y'all bear with me. Yaldair Fernandez. And as he is making his way back to his seat, let's recognize Abram Moran. Students, remember, though you may not got a little Darren, as a reminder, you got a certificate. That is what's important, okay? So y'all keep your promise. Basically, every essay that we receive in some form or fashion, every student turns in their essay. The last paragraph, the last line will say something to the effect, I promise, I pledge to remain drug-free for the rest of my life. And that's what all we're asking of them. So I'm going to turn I was going to say Mike, but I guess the floor back over to Lieutenant Silvers for some closing remarks. But thank y'all so much for coming. Number one, to show your love and support for your children, grandchildren, but hopefully for the DARE program and what we're doing at the Sheriff's Office. So thank you for taking time this morning.
Okay, real quick, students, as you come through, I gave you several things. You can leave a clip together if you want to, that way you don't lose them. One is your bookmark. It has your ways, your 4 steps to making those good decisions: define, assess, respond, and evaluate. This is a reminder to you to use that every single day in making any decision that you're making. Think it through, think about your choices, and think about those consequences before you make those decisions. Because all it takes, and we've talked about this, is one bad choice to change your entire life. So think about those good choices and think about making those good choices, picking those friends wisely. You also have a bumper sticker. One rule of the bumper sticker: do not put this on your parents' cars. Okay? If they want it there, they'll put it there. You do not put it there. Even if you put it on your wall at home, make sure it's okay with your parents first wherever you put it, because it will take paint off. Okay? You have your ruler. Then you have your DARE graduate card. Your DARE graduate card is a reminder to you that you have completed this program and you've made a promise to me, to your teachers, to your parents, but most importantly, you've made this promise to yourself that you are going to remain drug-free, that you are going to remain out of trouble, making those good choices to stay trouble-free, so that you can be successful in life and you can be that help network for someone else. You also have my business card. Just because you're graduating today is not the end. You're going to see me back at school. I've already got some classes that we'll schedule after the first of the year that's not DARE related, but I'll come in and talk to you about some things. If you have problems, anytime, call that number. The one that's the 1879 goes directly to my office. If I'm not there, leave a message and I can call you back. It usually sends me a message to let me know I have, it sends me a text to let me know I have messages so I can call you. If it's an emergency and you don't get me right then, call that 1233 and tell them it's an emergency, that you're a DARE student and you need to get in touch with me. They'll get in touch with me. They have numbers and ways to get in touch with me. The last thing you have is a coupon that says admit one. Little ticket. When you get home, I want you to put your name on the back of this ticket, and I want you to keep it with your DARE graduate card. I want you to remember that this is your ticket admitting you into any profession that you want to become, any job in your future, any college. You just have to make the good choices to get there. No one can take that away from you. The only person that can take that away from you is you, with the choices you make, the friends you hang around, the places you go, and the things that you do. So the only person that can take that dream away from you is you. But now, we all make mistakes. So if you make a mistake, you have to overcome that mistake. Don't just think, okay, everything is done because I've made this bad mistake. If you make a bad mistake, evaluate that and start making better choices. But the thing is, if you evaluate it to begin with and think it through, you're probably not going to make those bad mistakes all the time. Okay? I have enjoyed being a part of the classroom, becoming friends with each and every one of you. And I look forward to seeing you grow into middle school, into high school, and even when you get out of school, and making those choices and seeing what you become. I've really enjoyed teaching you, and parents, I'd like to thank you for coming out. Students, thank you for being there for me and helping me through some things. And I want you to use all the tools that we've talked about, put all those tools in your toolbox and use them every day. We're going to conclude our program. We will stay around for pictures. I just ask that if you take any pictures that Trevor is in, that you not post them on Facebook because of the job that he is going into his future. Okay? Thank you very much. We appreciate you. We do need a picture of the